Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Tuesday, the 2nd of September 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. We've just got to go through this epic thread from CSW. It looks absolutely phenomenal. So the whole show is going to be on that because there's like quite a lot to get through. We'll have a look at the figures because they're getting juicy. Look, the transactions are creeping up and they're still refusing to list it. You have to scroll over the green. Oh, we've surpassed the XRP. Come on. 748,000 transactions as opposed to XRP that's just got 677 and they'll be stuck at that. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Whoa. So BSV is now in second place behind Ethereum. Come on. Yeah, we'll just confirm those figures. We've got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, which looks quite good. And then we will finish with the Kellen Schweller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, and transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Here we go. All right then. So CSW posted this literally just 4 hours ago. So he said here, right now I find myself in the position of Rourke, and at times I feel closer to Dagny. I continue to act, to build, to create, and to give away idea, value, and entire frameworks of thought. I do it out of the desire to see this survive, to see something worth saving endure in the face of indifference and decay. But there is a limit to such sacrifice, and that is part that cannot be ignored. I cannot continue indefinitely because no individual, no matter how committed or driven, can bear the weight of an entire structure forever. At some point it demands that others not only recognise the effort, but also take up, transform recognition into action, and bear their own share of responsibility. Without that, it all collapses under the same inertia that I've been fighting against. The reality of this is not complicated. It is brutally simple. One day the stream of work, the stream of work of innovation, of constant giving will come to an end if it continues to fall into the void of passive consumption. The decision is not mine alone to make. It belongs to those who would inherit what is being built and either choose to cultivate it or let it wither. That moment when the giving ceases will mark a final judgment, not of me, but of the collective failure to act. This is not what I want. I've never sought that kind of ending. My intention has always been to see the structure carried forward, to see others step into the role of creators, producers, and defenders of value. Yet you read the book, you understand the trajectory it presents, you will already know the outcome when no one rises to the challenge. The book does not veil its message. The world grinds to a halt when those who carry it on their shoulders stop. I do not want the prophecy to be fulfilled. I want to prove it wrong, to show that there will be enough willing to stand and to take on the burden of creation, to act instead of waiting for someone else to act. I want to demonstrate that the outcome need not be collapse, that it is possible to change the scripts and to defy the expectation of failure. But that cannot be proven alone. It requires others to recognize the cost of endless giving and to understand that it cannot be sustained by one person's sacrifice indefinitely. The choice is open before you. You can continue to stand idle, hoping that someone else carries it, or you can recognize the urgency and act. If you've read the book, if you already know the warning, let me prove it wrong. Not by myself, but with you stepping forward, not in words alone, but in deeds. Come on, everybody. Come on, everybody. That is a call to action. And he continues here. I've created an engine, not of steel and of pistons, but of thought, of systems, of something that stands in the shape of what John Galt represented. But here lies the distinction. Galt turned his back on the world and vanished, starting anew in exile. He saw withdrawal as the only path left, a retreat that declared the world unworthy of the gifts it squandered. I cannot accept that conclusion. Where Galt abandoned, I remain. Where he chose to step aside and let collapse prove his point, I believe there are still people, still opportunities, still moments where choice matters. The field has not yet gone barren, the soil is not yet exhausted, and there are minds capable of rising to the challenge if they will only grasp that their time is now. That is where I part from Rand, not in recognizing the decay, but in refusing to concede that escape is the only solution. The temptation to walk away is strong. It would be easy to justify, but what does that achieve? It proves only the inevitable of loss, the hopelessness of resistance, the surrender of every possibility to those who never created, never built, never understood the cost. That is not the conclusion I seek. I want to stand against it and demonstrate that the engine of creation does not have to vanish into secrecy, that it can remain in the open world and still prevail. So I say this clearly, running away is not the answer. Collapse is not the destiny we must accept. The future is not set in stone. The opportunity remains for others to step forward, to act, to prove that the world is not incapable of sustaining creation, of recognizing value, of lifting the burden alongside me. Oof, well, funny, he's just mentioned that synchronistic timing and all that. When I saw what was coming, it crossed my mind. I was just like, is it, what's the safest? Well, not the safest route. It's just like, you've got to choose your moments. Like when is the moment? People have got to make decisions soon, but then the normies have got to wake up, to this satanic world takeover that we're being subjected to, and it's all about the money. You fix the money, fix everything. All legal and political influence stem from economic power, and CSW has provided that for us. He said here, help prove me wrong. Help demonstrate that this age does not have to fall into the same pattern of decay. Well, a pattern of decay, I mean, the Cabal want to destroy it. That resignation is not the destiny of every mind that creates. Stand and show that the burden does not have to be borne by a single set of shoulders until they collapse under the weight. Prove that the future can be built not by a retreat, but by engagement, by the refusal to surrender the field to mediocrity and theft. Help prove me wrong by taking the principles of work, of integrity, of vision, and carrying them forward in your own hands. Do not simply echo words, act upon them. Do not merely admire from a distance, build, create, and risk. Because if this is left to a single voice, a single will, then it dies when the voice goes silent. But if it spreads, if others accept the responsibility, then it becomes unbreakable. Help prove me wrong by showing that men and women are not fated to sit idly by, waiting for collapse as if it were the only possible end. Show that choice exists, that opportunity has not been extinguished, that courage can still rise in the midst of hesitation. Every act, every contribution, every refusal to bow to apathy is a strike against the prediction of ruin. Help prove me wrong, because if I am right, then the story ends as Rand wrote it: withdrawal, abandonment, and the vindication of despair. But if I'm wrong, then something far greater emerges, not a hidden sanctuary of creators, but a world remade in the open, civilization that refuses to give up on itself, a legacy not of escape but of triumph. And I would rather be wrong in that way that stands alone in being right. This is epic. This is epic. He says, Bitcoin can stand as the instrument that answers this challenge. It is not an abstract idea left on a page, but a system forged in code and mathematics, built to embody the very principle of exchange without resilience on gatekeepers or inherited privilege. In its smallest units, it carries the power of micropayments, transactions so slight they would have been impossible in traditional systems, yet together forming the arteries of an economy that spans the globe. It is in micropayments that its promise lies: the capacity to pay instantly for knowledge, for data, for services rendered in moments, to open markets that have never existed, to let value move as swiftly as thought itself. A student in Africa can buy a single page of research without indebting themselves for volumes. A musician in Asia can receive direct compensation for every note streamed, not siphoned away by intermediaries. A teacher in South Africa can sell a lesson to one pupil, then 1,000, then 1,000,000, each payment flowing directly to their effort. The granularity of exchange becomes the foundation of opportunity everywhere. This terrifies those who survive only by standing on the shoulders of creators and draining their work. the second-handers, the rent-seekers, the ones who fear a world where they cannot tax, control, or siphon value unseen. For them, the prospect of universal, unstoppable micropayments is a threat. For us, it's liberation. It is the chance to replace dependency with agency, stagnation with enterprise, submission with choice. But Bitcoin is not self-executing. It does not have advance without hands to build, without minds to seize its potential and shape it into functioning systems. The architecture is there, the rails are laid, but what matters now is the will to act, to scale, to push past doubt and hesitation, to demonstrate that micropayments are not a theory but a living practice. Help me bring that about. Help me show that the world does not have to remain trapped in the grasp of old orders. Exactly, yeah, old orders, the old new world order, as it were. Stand with me to make micropayments real, not in slogans but in applications that ordinary people can use every day. Stand with me to prove that global interaction, free and unbroken, is not a dream but a system ready to be used. The world can be changed, not by waiting, not by running, but by building now. Absolutely. It is a system that will not only shift how we measure trade, but will redefine the very boundaries of GDP. Today, services remain localized, anchored by geography, limited by borders, bound to the place where they are performed. They have been seen as immovable, the sector of the economy that technology could never fully globalize. But Bitcoin micropayments change that. They turn service into something that can be transmitted, consumed, and compensated across continents in real time. Consider the hairdresser in Mumbai. Today her work is confined to the street where she rents a chair, but in the economy that is emerging, her expertise can be broadcast through a live feed, gliding a client in San Francisco through a cut, step by step for a fraction of a cent per instruction. Each payment following instantly as she speaks. Suddenly her salon is no longer in a single neighborhood. It is everywhere that someone holds a pair of scissors and an internet connection. Think of a gardener in Chiang Mai. He prunes a hedge in upstate New York without boarding a plane, directing a local homeowner with precision, paid continuously as each minute of his guidance streams. When he finishes, he does not wait weeks for wire transfers or surrender margins to platforms that claim ownership for his labor. His compensation is direct, granular, and final. He closes his laptop, walks outside, and tends to his own garden at home, his income already secure. A mathematics tutor in Lagos can sell her lessons by the problem, not by the hour. Each step of an equation, each worked example can be purchased instantly by a student in Tokyo for a few satoshis, with the certainty that she receives it at once. No intermediaries holding her work hostage. Her income is global, her classroom borderless. A translator in Buenos Aires can process single paragraphs for a novelist in Berlin, paid per word as he types, with no publishing house or contractor siphoning value in between. His work becomes part of a constant global flow of micro-labor, compensated in real time. A singer in Manila can charge per second for a performance, streamed live to an audience in Paris. The listener pays in fractions, the artist receives without delay. No contracts, no months for settlement, just a direct link of performer and audience, creator and consumer. This is not drones replacing workers or automation hollowing out labour. It is the globalization of services once thought immovable. It is GDP escaping the straitjacket of national boundaries. It is an economy where the value of skill, craft and knowledge moves as freely as capital, where micropayments turn every action, no matter how small, into a tradable good in the global marketplace. And it will redefine what nations measure, what people earn, and how civilization itself understands production. Oh, brilliant. It isn't routes that are automated, it is people directing them, commanding them, operating them in real time. The myth has always been that machines will rise in isolation. The automation will never sever humanity from labour. The truth is sharper. Machines are extension tools, instruments, and behind each one there's a mind. The revolution that is not in the machine acting alone, but in the ability of a worker thousands of miles away to guide it, to earn from it, and to be paid instantly for every action. The combine harvester in Iowa is not simply running on algorithms. It is being overseen by an operator in Manila, paid by the hectare harvested, compensated instantly in micropayments as the machine moves through the fields. The construction drone lifting steel in Dubai is not autonomous. It is guided by a team in Nairobi, engineers and operators who earn by the task, their labour measured and rewarded second by second. A robotic hedge trimmer in New York may shape a garden wall, but the artistry lies in the gardener in Bangkok who controls it, who sees the angles, the form, the design, and receives value instantly for every minute of his attention. A fleet of delivery drones in Los Angeles can swarm the streets, but the system depends on coordinators in Dhaka making live routing decisions, earning fractions of a cent for each adjustment they make, each optimized path they create. This is the future Bitcoin enables, a world where automation does not erase human contribution but amplifies it, where labor is no longer confined to geography and value no longer tapped by borders. The machine is not independent, it is an extension of human choice and human oversight. Micropayments ensure that every action, every decision, every human input, no matter how small, is recognized, priced and rewarded in real time. It is not automation that replaces people, it is automation that globalizes their reach. Oh, and Rudis Everett said, we are building. Oh, and Tim J. Swan said, what I do most on X. Oh, maybe that's not related to it, but Rudy Silver saying, yeah, we are building. What a fantastic thread that was. Absolutely brilliant. Inspiring. Makes me want to, well, I mean, I'm busy at the moment, obviously doing this, putting these shows out every day, you know, but I'm desperate to learn to build, and I think other people should need to as well. Look, Jeremy Clarkson's farmer said here, 100 years ago, organic food was just food. Grass-fed beef was just beef. Pasteurized raised eggs were just eggs. Raw milk was just milk. Let's get back to that. Make food real again. Yeah, not this fake shit that everyone's doing. This I thought was hilarious. The meme says that I want the truth. And we've got Zuckerberg saying the truth violates community standards. Not on the Bitcoin network, it won't. Yeah. Oh, look at them. This was awesome from Kurt. I wrote here, inspired. This is what made me want to look for it again. Check this out. Whoa. Oh my goodness me. Can you believe it? Look. The remnants of Kurt's sort of nose, eyes and glasses and mouth and teeth. But that's it. Unrecognizable. Check it out. Oh, he's even got his own routine in here as well. He said, in the first picture, I was 21 years old. A chronic workaholic trying to break away from the generational trauma and abuse. Miserable with my life and eating my emotions. In the second picture, I'm nearly 40 years old with a perfect bill of health. Happily married with 3 kids and a mostly healthy work-life balance. And refusal to accept toxic people or ideas in my life. Brilliant. A bunch of people have asked how I changed my physique over the last few years. Like most things, it's simple but not easy, and it requires discipline over time. Oh, this is great. Lift. With a barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell, machine or cables. Do these movements. 3 to 5 sets to failure. 2 to 3 a week. Squats, deadlifts, rows, press, pull-ups, dips, push-up swings. Love it. God, look at what to eat, what to drink, how to move, and oh, this is brilliant. Think I might be using that one myself, Kurt. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. That is great. Right, talking about being great, let's have a look at some of the figures here on Bitcoin. I'm looking forward to this. Transactions are up to 58.18. Block size 94.6. Absolutely massive. And look at this. There is a 110 megabyte block. A block that is over 100 megabytes in one block. There is more data in that one block than the entire column of Gregcoin over there. Bcrash still haven't got all of their blocks over a megabyte. And Fisher Price Cash struggling to get all of their blocks over a kilobyte, let alone anywhere near a megabyte. And here we are with 110. Massive. So look at this. It's 58,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gregcoin. And it's still more profitable to mine. Would you believe it? 3.7% more profitable to mine on SV over Gregcoin. And yet prices are at historic lows. Prices are at historic lows, and it's already more profitable to mine on SV. That is hilarious. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Look, daily average Bitcoin block. What was that? Our block size by network. Look, their blocks are slowly increasing there. Come on, look at that. Plateaued out and then boom. Just going up. There we go. Transactions by network, Bitcoin winning. Transactions per block, Bitcoin winning. Fees USD, transaction fees USD, transaction fees Satoshis right down there on the log curve. Amazing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's just starting to creep up. That's gone above Bcrash. If that maintains it, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. All right, let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts then. Great coins at other miners 6.25. Bcrash other miners 14%. Fisher Price Cash other miners 45%. And CoinDance aren't reporting the figures. But transactions, look at this. 748,498 transactions over the last 24 hours, representing 18.5% of the entire market. In front of XRP, in front of Gregcoin. Literally chomping at the heels of Ethereum. Wow. And Ethereum has got, oh my goodness, have a look at the market cap on that bad boy. Here we go. Ethereum's market cap is 500 billion. 500 billion. Good grief. And where is Bitcoin? Where is Bitcoin? Market cap just 500 million. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. That is what, 100x? Yeah, it might be even more than that. Oh my god. Just absolutely staggering. Might be 1,000. Yeah. That'd be 1,000x. Oh my god. Yeah. 500 billion to 500 million is 1,000. 1,000x. 1,000x. And look at that. Literally just chomping at its heels. Just slowly taking that market cap off them. Amazing. Amazing. Let's just confirm those figures on Watson Chain. This should be. Yeah, look, 781,000. So we're in second place. Second place, and we've got Tau with 21% of the hash rate, and then Tau with Terranode with 17.12. Loving that. We can probably cross-reference that. Not that one. Mining. Let's have a look. Yeah, Tau 21.23 with SV Node, and a 12.12 with Terranode. And Gorilla Pool with 9.59. Moving up the rankings there. Loving that. Loving that. Oh, wow. That's awesome, right? It's gone to some 365 days of Bitcoin history. So, on the... did we do that one yesterday? Eminem released his first song that gave a shout out to Bitcoin on the 1st of September 2018. Maybe I missed that one. Yeah, I must have. And this is what he wrote, or this is what he wrote, rapped. He said, everybody doing chick joints probably robbed these little dudes at first point. Remember, everybody used to buy nickel. Now everybody doing Bitcoin. Oh, oh, here we go. Bitcoin gets a mention on rapper Eminem's new album, Kamikaze. There we go. Look, remember everybody used to buy nickel. Now everybody doing Bitcoin. Oh, I wonder if we'll put something in there about BSV. Yeah, who knows? And oh, we've got a link there. A link there to it. Hey, right. Not going to play that because we got a strike on YouTube. Right, 2nd of September though. So on the 2nd of September, 1666, there was the Great Fire of London, which led to the creation of the Cestui Que Vie Act 1666, which turned us all into maritime corporations. Lost at sea and dead entities with no human rights whatsoever. That's what these evil bastards have done to us. So check this out. Oh, this article about the 1666 Fire of London. For other Great Fires, yeah. The Great Fire of London was a major conflagration that swept through the central London from Sunday the 2nd of September to Wednesday the 5th of September 1666, gutting the medieval city of London inside the old Roman city wall. While also extending past the wall to the west, the death toll is generally thought to have been relatively small, although some historians have changed this belief. That's where it went, through the city of London, because they wanted to rebuild it, but it was mainly to bring in the Sesto KV Act of 1666. Look at that. Tower of London, Houses of Parliament. St. Paul's should be in there somewhere, I think. Wow. There we go. Right, so on the 2nd of September 2024, Neil Oliver mentioned BSV on his channel. Check it out. Here we go. Oh, really?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Just look at what's going on with Jamie Dimon at the moment and Larry Fink over at BlackRock. They were criticising Bitcoin until the cows came home. They thought it was dangerous. Well, they had no interest in it. There was all manner of different excuses about why they wouldn't address it. And now all of a sudden they dramatically changed their tune. And you've got to ask yourself, why is that?
Isn't that because they've hijacked?
Definitely.
BTC. There's also BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision.
Yeah.
Which it is out there, almost obfuscated and occulted into invisibility. And BTC, isn't there a school of thought that says that BTC, Bitcoin, that everyone means when they say Bitcoin, has been hijacked? The powers that be, the CIA, the FBI, whatever, the intelligence community, were opposed to until they got it. And now that they've got it, it's become a bear trap.
Yeah, and that's what worries me the most.
Fantastic. That was a year ago today. Right, here we go. On the Kellenschwiller countdown, the 2nd of September, we've got 16 days left. Ooh. These 2 weeks are going to get spicy. So remember, hit the like button, press subscribe. You're not going to want to miss all the shenanigans that happen between now and then. It's going to be absolutely epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.